Alrighty, today we're going to be going over highs and lows and a little bit of market structure. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of a review for the candlesticks and what makes them up. So we're going to look at a live example of this. Right now I'm looking at a Forex pair of British pound with the Japanese yen. And so as you can see here, I indicated green for up candles or bullish candles. um, in markets, we tend to say bulls, like a bull drives up and a bear swipes down with their paw. So anytime you hear that phrase bullish candle, it means it's going up, or a bearish candle is going down. So we're going to just look at a couple examples here. Right now, this is the live market. It is actually, it's not live, it's not moving right now, but we can get into that in a little bit. Um, yeah, there it is. It's live now. So one just formed. We can see that this is an up candle. And notice how with this one, there are no wicks. It means this was at the highest point possible and it actually closed here. So we can say high right here and a low down here. And again, this will be a bullish candle. So I can indicate that this green one is a bullish candle because it's going up and it closed. So it started down here and it went all the way up here and it closed. So this is also the closing point. It's equal to the high. And then also with a bearish down candle, same concept applies. We can look at this one right here. We see that there's a top wick, but there's not a bottom wick, which means that price was at the highest point right here and it closed at the very bottom, leaving no trail or a wick. So inversely, the open was here, the close is down here, and for a bullish candle, the up candle, the open's down here and the close is up here. So again, this will be a high right here and a low down here. This can also, we will put the open right at this point and the close down here. So close down here, open right here. We can see right now, actually a live example of this, of a bearish candle. See how it closed right down here? And there's another one forming here. Right now, it looks like it's about green, but we can't really tell right now because price action isn't very intense right now. It's not really firing off, and there we go. Went up a bit. We're in a bearish up candle. It left a trail. So this was the lowest point, and right now this is the highest point. If it drops down, see, as you saw, it leaves a wick. And now it went higher, and it left a higher wick. So you can see this live. And notice how they're flipping colors as it goes up and it goes down from this opening point. It becomes a bearish or a bullish candle. So it's deciding right now, is it going to go up or down? How is it going to close? And again, this is a 1 minute candle, meaning that each candle represents an entire minute of price action where the market was at that point and where it went for the price. And as you can see on the side, this is the price of the currency with the British pound against the Japanese yen. What was the British pound? How much was it worth compared to the Japanese yen? So this is Forex, but it doesn't exactly matter right now. We're learning about the candles and whatnot. So with that in mind, we're going to go over highs and lows. What are those? So I'm going to make this as simple as possible. We're going to go back to a line. And I'm going to delete all of these here so it doesn't get confusing. So what are highs and what are lows? So in a line, we can tell that the market is going up because it is making a higher high and a higher low and a higher high and a higher low. So we know that the trend of the market is going up. So we can signify that this was the highest point right here. And we'll call this a high, and this will be a low. And so how do we know that the market is going up? Because it created a higher high. So we'll call this the higher high. And then where does it go down to? Right here. But notice, this low point is higher than this low point, so we can call it a higher low. And now we could signify, or we could tell that this is a uptrend, right? It's going up, goes up, retraces down, shoots up, goes down, and then it kind of consolidates here, moves to the side, and then look, it goes high, and then low, high, low, but then it starts consolidating, and we're not going higher and higher. So right now, the main point is that we're having a higher, or a high and a low, and then a higher high, higher low. So that's what makes up an uptrend, right? So how does this look with candlesticks? So we'll go back to candlesticks, or candles, and we can see on the chart how this works. So the fundamental part of this is actually a more important part, really. What makes a high with candles? An up candle, then a down candle. So we know that for it to be a high, there has to be an up candle starting, and then the next one has to be a closing. That signifies a close. Now, what about this right here? Is an up candle a high? Is this the highest point? No, it is not. It has to be followed by a closing candle. So the highest point between these two candles, an up candle and down candle, is a high. So we know that this point right here is a high. Call it a high right here. High and a low, right? Or an up candle, down candle. That's what makes a high. Same with this one. What makes a high? An up candle, then a down candle, because it goes up and then it comes down. So that's the highest point. We saw that on the line chart, right? Right here. So again, this is a high. What makes a high? Up candle, then a down candle. That's what makes a high. So again, looking at a line chart, look at the high. It's right there. We can tell because that's the point of it. And that's the highest point of this line. So when we go back to the candles, you can tell, boom, up candle, down candle. Now, what makes a low? It's the opposite. We look at the lowest point, but it has to be first a down candle, then an up candle. So it can't be a down candle because the market's still moving down. Even though this is the lowest point right here, this little wick, it doesn't make it the lowest. It doesn't make it a low because it was going up at that point, up, and then it's going down, down. So what makes a low? A down candle, then an up candle. This will be important for learning the strategies that I will teach in further videos in the future. But it's important to know what makes a high and what makes a low. So again, a down candle, then an up candle. It's not a down candle, then a down candle. It's a down candle, then an up candle. And what makes a low? It's the lowest point between the down candle and the up candle on the wicks. So they're pretty equal right here, but I can kind of tell if I zoom in a little bit that they're about the same. But we could say that it's this little down one right here because it looks a slight bit lower. Actually, no, it might be this one. So regardless, we can call this a low. That's the low point, right? So what makes a low? It's the opposite of this. Down candle, then an up candle. That signifies a low. I'll put right here. Low. That's what makes a low. And this makes a high, an up candle, then a down candle. So we'll look at more examples of this. Let's go to previous times of this. So here's a good example. Plenty of highs here. We have a bunch of green candles going up. So is it an up candle that makes a high? No, because it's still going up. It has to have a down candle that closes to make a high point between the two. See, it's not a high yet. It's not the highest point yet. Boom. Now when it forms a down candle and closes, now we have a new high. So that's how we're able to tell the market structure going up, right? This is the highest point. So between these two candles, which wick is higher? It's going to be the green one. So this is the highest point. So that's a high. Boom, right there. Where's another high? Between these, we call this a doji candle because it's really, the market didn't know exactly where to go. So that signifies, okay, it could be a high or a low, but we'll call this a high one. We'll say this is a green one. right? And then we follow by a down candle. So up candle, down candle, what's the highest point between these two? It's where that wick is right here. So there's another high right here, high. And I'll even circle it to make it easier. If I can find my little tool. Yeah, we can see right here is the highest point. You can see the line where it is. Boom, highest point. So that's a high. This is also a high. What makes a low? Is it going to be a down candle then a down candle? No, it's going to be, because it's still going down, right? The market is still going down and we haven't formed the lowest point. So we have a down candle. It's not a low yet. Once we have an up candle, we form a low. So down candle, up candle, what's the lowest point between these two? Remember, what makes a low? It has to be a down candle first, a bearish candle first, then a bullish candle or an up candle. So the reds are down, greens are up, right? The lowest point between these two is going to be that wick right here. So this will be a low, right? And then what's next? An up candle, then a down candle. What's the highest point between these two? Right here, right at the wick. You could tell right where my line is that this right here is the highest point. So we have another high. Super simple. So I want you to find on your charts in TradingView or whatever you're using 5 examples of highs and 5 examples of lows. What are these? Again, look back up at what we wrote. What's a high? It's an up candle, then a down candle, and it'll be the highest point of the wicks between the two. So here's another example right here. This is an up candle because it's green, and there's a down candle, so the highest point would be right here. And then what makes a low? A down candle, then an up candle. So where's the lowest between these 2 points? It didn't leave a wick, but it'll be at the closing price of this up candle, right? This bullish candle. So here's a low right here because it's a down candle, then an up candle. Again, if you look at a line chart to make this easier, there's the lowest point right there. It peaks right there, or a low peak, I guess you could say. What makes a high? Where it peaks up here and then it goes down. So that's why it's an up candle, then a down candle. So that point right there is the highest point, and then here's a low point. So again, go and find 5 examples of an up or a high, and then 5 examples of a low. And then we'll go on to the next video.